You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 138 for the documentary Not Black Enough. This is a review of that documentary. Again, you can watch this on Amazon. It is available. I think it's free if you're a Prime member, by the way. So that's important to know. It's only like 80 something minutes, so it's a pretty easy watch. Minutes. Yeah, it's a pretty easy watch for that and that alone, in my opinion. But it is a documentary featuring interviews with Vanessa Williams, Henry Louis Gates, and Petey Pablo.
So fucking random.
It's super random. Directed by Tracy Anarella. So we will start with Micah.
No,
you're not starting with me.
We'll start with Terrence.
Okay. I'll go to you.
Then I'll go.
And then I'll get
and
my
then
opinion.
you can go.
Yeah, that's fine. Please, grace us with your thoughts, Terrence.
I watched it this morning. Started it, and from the get-go, I was like, well, this is poorly done. But that was my first thought. I'm like, yo, this isn't done well at all. And yes, it's a documentary, but it looks like I could have did it when I was in like editing class in Randallstown High School 20 years ago. But I don't know, man. I didn't like it. Like, the subject matter is subject matter we always talk about. We've talked about this almost ad nauseum. So I am very I'm anxious to see how we're going to get through this whole episode. How long this episode is going to be perfectly honest with you, because we've only done like 2 other documentaries, maybe 1 or 2 other ones, and those were really good. But like, that was because like the information was new to me,
or interesting,
to me. Oh. Yeah, and like more new, but this is stuff we've already spoken about a lot, so I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. It didn't keep my interest. It took me 4 hours to watch it. I woke up 6 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
And I kept falling asleep. No, I don't like it. I mean, it's fine.
Would you recommend it?
No. I don't recommend it. Like, again, if you're black, you've already talked about this before. Like, this the whole class warfare. Like, basically, this is basically about colorism. That's it. To me. And then they start talking about the word nigga. I'm never going to stop talking. I will get into it, but I don't like it. I don't even know what to give it. Don't even bother out of 5.
Micah?
So
you picked
technically,
this
yeah, I did. And technically,
your truth.
This is a poorly constructed documentary.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah,
that
it is.
From a technical perspective, it is not very good at all.
Like
there were some scenes. I'm like, wait, we would just talk.
Like, and not,
Did
and
you
not
just play that tape?
And not just like from, like a quality level of the technology used in the film, right? Like, this thing looks like it was shot on a Super 8, right? Like,
Right. I tell you, I was shocked to find out this came out in 2017.
Yeah, I was looking at it like, yo, this looked like it was again. I could have done this. Yeah, and I am not a director.
Nigga, we do a podcast and the quality is better than this. The one we're doing right now.
Like, I feel like she could have got some better cameras, but
yeah.
neither here nor there.
So from a quality aspect, it's not. It's subpar. In terms of content, the content is interesting enough. I find the conversations with the children to be the most poignant. In terms of how a documentary is supposed to be structured, like a true documentary is supposed to be structured,
right?
You're supposed to have like pros and cons, or you're supposed to see things from multiple sides. And this doesn't. This only takes it from like the bitter light-skinned side. You know what I mean? And that's not how a documentary is supposed to be. But documentarians nowadays, if you look at documentaries nowadays, most of them do have their own agenda. So this isn't something that I'm not giving this film a pass because it does what most documentaries do nowadays, but I am knocking it for not being a true documentary. This is a bitter light-skinned person going around trying to pat herself on the back. And I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her, but I didn't hate the documentary. Like you said, Terrence, it's something that everybody talks about, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. I think it's worth the 80 minutes it takes to watch.
No, it didn't take me 80 minutes to watch it.
That's a lie.
100 and whatever the fuck.
240
no, it's like 240 minutes to watch it.
Well, if you have 80 consecutive minutes of attention span, then yeah,
them together.
Yeah, why not? I mean, and towards the end, it kind of goes all over the place. Like they start talking about hair, and hair is a serious thing. We could have like a whole show based on hair.
Yeah, there are whole documentaries about it.
Yeah,
but
we still need to do. That's a far better documentary than this.
It is. It's a much better documentary than this.
Please continue.
But I thought it was all right. I think Terrence didn't give a fuck about it, and I think Jay is just a little mad because I mean, come on, let's keep it real, right?
All right, here we go.
Let's keep it real.
See, you
right?
gotta throw me under the bus.
Let's keep it real, right?
To try to cover up for your bullshit.
How
choice.
many of you people out there listening to my words right now
or watching on YouTube
thought that Jay was a white guy in blackface?
I don't know about in blackface, but certainly
they're
in
watching.
voice.
They're watching. So,
Yes.
yeah. Like, we've had countless tales of people like, who is this white guy that they got saying nigger all over the place?
It's true.
That wasn't me included. Look,
So I
thought
think
you was white.
Yeah, I get it.
I
get it.
And
It's
it's
fucked up.
So maybe-
They didn't tell my story in this movie, guys.
so. Maybe this hits a little too close to home.
Is that the reason?
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see.
So there
No,
you go.
you said I just didn't give a fuck? What do you mean?
I think you don't give a fuck about stuff like this. Like, because we talked about this particular film, because we talk about it all the time,
yeah.
oh, I don't give a fuck. I know about it already.
Yes.
So, ergo, I don't give a fuck.
Ergo. No, you got me dental rights
Like,
there.
I can only talk about the shit so much before I'm just like, I
don't give a fuck.
Yes. You got me. Whatever. I mean, you could have used less colorful language.
Was my language not black enough for you, Terrence?
I am black enough. I am black enough. As the refrain at the end of the movie made me want to blow my fucking brains out. All right, so do you have a score?
No, I'm trying to get out of scores. So yeah, if you have the attention span of 3 episodes of a sitcom, then yeah, you can watch this.
Okay, so let me, without all the slander on this side of the table, let me tell you why I didn't like this movie. It's been a really long time since I've seen a documentary, minus those like bullshit, like you have to be vegan to be healthy documentaries that are all over Netflix that my wife watches occasionally, and I'm like, yo, I'm not giving up cheese. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't really ever go into documentaries to... I'm generally, if I watch a documentary, as ridiculous as this sounds, if I'm watching a documentary, I generally probably agree with the premise, right? I mean, I think most people do. Like, I'm not going to watch some like crazy right-wing documentary about like how Democrats are evil or liberals are evil. Like, I'm just not going
watch
to.
that just to see how insane they are.
I don't need my blood pressure that high. So,
and the thing is, if you turn on my Netflix queue, it's nothing but documentaries because that's all I watch.
Yeah.
So watching this, I was fucking mad.
right, because there are quality documentaries.
Level, this shit is fucking trash.
This is a documentary anybody with absolutely zero experience in film school could do. The three of us could sit down and come up with a topic, do some interviews with people we found interesting, and do a better job. I guarantee we could, right? And look, does that seem slanderous to her? Sure. I'm sorry, but technically this is really poorly done. The images that are used aren't sharp. The camera work is really bad in 2017. So from a technical perspective, I did not care for this movie. I give it a 0 out of 5 from a technical perspective. From a content perspective, I give it a 1.5 out of 5 not because it's too close to home, you fucking asshole, but because I thought, like you said, it wasn't a movie about not black enough. I was under the impression, the way that it was laid out initially, was that it wasn't just about, like, I understand the argument of colorism. That part is fine. But there is more to colorism than just light-skinned women's perspective. And that's what pissed me off. There is one dark-skinned person in the movie. One. Gray value fucking seal. Sea lion's ass who cannot sing. Okay, I'm sorry.
It wasn't bad.
I've sung in the shower that was like pretty close to that. Like, and I'm not good at all.
This guy's Stevie Wonder's vocal coach, by the way.
So anyway, like I was saying, and then there's Petey Pablo, right? Who is not like super dark, but a darker guy, right? So, Petey Pablo was in this movie, guys. Like, that's weird. And he has some of the most salient points, by the way. That's not to take anything away from him, I actually thought. But what it felt like is it just felt like light-skinned women sitting around bitching and complaining about how they were treated differently. Not once was there any semblance of a conversation with women who are darker being asked about what colorism is, right? And, you know, Henry Louis Gates is in this movie, who is a brilliant guy, but he is completely and utterly undercut and wasted in this movie because he's one of the only few people who is actually dealing with what should be the topic of the movie considering the title. He talks about like whether or not you're into certain things or, you know, activities and things like that, or where you were raised and how you were raised. Those are not dictations of your blackness, which is what the fucking movie should be about. But she just skipped over that and was like, I'm light-skinned and people used to say stuff about my hair and I'm upset about it. Let me find all my light-skinned friends to complain in the same way. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, it's hard for you back then. Bitch, you're Vanessa Williams. Like, I'm sorry, I can't feel that bad. No, this movie sucked. It sucked. It sucked because it took no level of effort to try to give a perspective other than her own perspective. None. Zero. And again, I can't believe I'm saying this. In 2017, I'm watching a documentary about supposed colorism, and Petey Pablo is one of the most salient voices in this thing. There's like, oh, Henry Louis Gates is here. Well, he said a sentence, cut that off and put Hotep chef guy right behind him to undercut everything he said. Who the fuck was that nigga in the movie? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of my face. No, I was not pleased. I was not pleased at all. Oh. I'm not pleased that a movie, and by the way, there's also an ageism thing in this movie. There is a perspective of like older black folks just not listening to anything the youth is saying. I don't think rap music is a musical art form. Was a sentence set in this fucking movie. Petey Pablo is in the fucking movie. Now, granted, he just took his shirt off and spun it around his head like a helicopter, but it's still a song. What the fuck? It was like they tried to have somewhat opposing views, but they wouldn't structure it like that. They would just be like back-to-back conversation. So they put Henry Louis Gates at the same level as that Hotep nigga. Like, at the same time, I'm like, wait, are we supposed to... Like, how am I supposed to interpret this? It was fucking weird.
You're supposed to... You don't... The documentary is not supposed to sway you one way or the other. It's supposed to make you think by presenting the reasonable approach from Henry Louis Gates and the ridiculous approach by Hotep Chef.
And that is his name throughout the rest of the documentary.
It's the only name I know him by.
Look. I think I had a chef hat on, and he was saying some Hotepish nonsense.
So where does she stand?
It's not the filmmaker's play in a real documentary.
Okay, all right.
In a real documentary, it's not the filmmaker's place to impart their view to the viewer. It is painfully obvious where this woman stands from the opening monologue, where she was like, "I grew up black and I'm black, but I went to a white school and I spoke proper English or whatever. And I married a white man and people were mad. So I made this video because I'm mad.
That's the whole. Why didn't you just make a home video? It didn't need to be a documentary with your other friend. Okay, right.
Technically, it was shot on a fucking home video camera from 1997.
Like, I was waiting for the fucking slots. This is me with my white husband. Like, come on, man. Come on, yo. My wife had this theory. My wife had this theory that it was just these people sitting around at a dinner party, and they were just like a bunch of light-skinned black people just sitting around like, I'm mad, and like I had that same experience. Cool. And then the one woman was like, I could do a documentary about this. I got a camera, and they just shot it. Like, what the fuck? There was just no level of giving a fuck in this movie. I'm sorry. This is one of the worst documentaries I've ever seen. It is. And that hotel chef guy, funny. Stop talking to that nigga. If he's your friend, stop talking to him. That dude is dumb. Like, he's dumb. Also, is all the street footage from 1995? Where is this taking place?
Yo, I don't know. Yo. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm literally watching like, yo, what the fuck
I looked up the year. When I saw the little girl do the Wakanda Forever, I was like, wait, no, this can't be from a modern time. No, it was. It's Hotep Chef. It's got 19 different colors on it. Yes, Micah. So my score, say 1.5 out of 5.
All right.
Because I think it does make some salient points about a few. I think some people in the movie make some salient points about a few things. But when they get into the hair thing, there's language that's used, which was really irritated the shit out of me. Like Vanessa Williams and a number of other people interviewed make comments about things and like about the word nigger and shit like that. And I was just like, they are so wildly out of touch. It was just super weird. And I don't know. It was like they were trying to deconstruct these problems, but then at the same time, and I hate this word, using problematic language that reinforces the point that they're trying to push back against. I was like, why am I talking to you? It was just fucking weird. It was just very fucking weird. I don't know. Not a fan. Sorry.
All right.
I'm not sorry. It sucked.
I feel like it took like an old school stance on we're with colorism. Yeah, we're in our late 30s, and like the younger generation. This was made for like older black folks. That's what it was. Because I would take in the beginning, but like at the same, like the kid. They were only in like 3 or 4 scenes where the kids were basically talking about his homeboy was like, why don't you stop being white and step in the puddle? I'm like, nigga, that don't make no fucking sense.
Like, even about me trying to be white, it means I don't want wet socks.
Yeah, it's like, you dumb motherfucker, what's wrong with you?
But like, why were they interviewing those kids?
I don't even know.
It was super weird. They were interviewing
them, and they pulled out just the strangest fucking the strangest answers that they had for what.
I mean, I can
have
see
anything to do with the movie.
I can see like, interviewing kids, right? Because you wanna see where kids see colorism. So in the first
their answers had nothing to do with colorism.
Right.
But that's the thing that I think they're trying to show is that when you ask a kid, okay, you're gonna have to take a test to prove you're black. Yeah. What do you think would be on that test? The kids are like, your DNA?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because I gotta tell you, I kind of laughed. I was like, oh, they're so innocent.
Right, because kids don't think like that, right? No, like
it's taught.
Right, and that shit is taught. That's what I think the filmmaker was trying to get across.
Mm.
But
look, I'm laying on this. Yeah, you need to try a lot harder. But yeah, no, that part I do actually agree with you on. I just like when they were interviewing the kids, I could feel myself getting really irritated because the kids would like talk over each other, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. This is a professional situation. Just take one kid, fucking real world style. Just take one kid and fucking put him in a closet, and put the camera on him, and separate them. Like that, I don't know. It felt weird to me, and just like really haphazardly done. So feel free to take us through this modern Mein Kampf.
So we start, and the director is like, people say I'm not black because I do this, that, and the other, and I date a white man, and I got half white kids or whatever, and so I decided to make this movie to make me feel better, and then we get the not black enough like title screen. Then we
by the way, that logo,
yo, nigga.
All right.
Like I laughed at the Oreos. Though. That shit was funny.
Like, but
I'm not
yo,
gonna lie.
look. I'm gonna say something. And I'm gonna say it. Yo, she looked like she got that logo done on Fiverr, yo. Like yeah, that shit was mad cheap.
I think Fiverr does better quality.
Oh,
It does.
I mean,
You know what's funny?
You're probably right.
Is she considered light skinned?
She would be.
Really?
Well, as she's gotten older, she's gotten darker, which tends to happen to black folks, some black folks. But
Because she
like
don't
the
look
younger
light-skinned.
pictures of her, she's definitely pretty light.
Okay. Well,
Like, she's like my mother's complexion, which my mother's not necessarily.
Your mom's that light?
yeah, good lord. Is your father Wesley Snipes, nigga?
No, he's darker than me slightly, but yeah, my mother's pretty light.
Wow, that's interesting.
My aunt is even lighter.
No, that's the Native American in you, right?
Have I told the story?
No, you haven't. I know this story. This is a
perfect.
Yeah,
fucking, okay.
You don't know this.
I don't know.
I know this story.
You know the story.
know
Okay,
what?
this is a perfect, like, to make this more interesting, because this is bullshit, whatever. So, a couple months ago, actually, it was the night we went to go see Jesus and Mary.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my mother. We were, like, actually, a cousin of mine had come by, and he was trying to create, like, a family tree. He's trying to, like, find, because we just found out he was our cousin, like, a year and a half ago. I ain't never seen that nigga before, ever. So he came by and he dropped off like a family tree he created of all of our relatives and shit like that. So I have a conversation with my mother about it, and she doesn't know what her father looks like. She never met her father, nor did she ever meet her grandfather. So we were talking about that, and she was talking about her aunt. My grandmother is even lighter than she is, like super light. But my great aunt, she was light to the point where she had blonde hair, where they had to color it with coffee to make it black, because this was back in like the early, it was like she was born in 1929. My grandmother was born in 1931. But my mother always thought that my great aunt's father may have been a white guy. Now the thing is, my great grandmother. Now the thing is, my great grandmother.
Self-hating motherfucker.
The thing is,
They say Hitler might have been Jewish.
My great grandmother was black. She was like black as shit. I'm not even trying to be offensive. Like, she was just dark. And I always was like, why the fuck is my grandmother so light? Like, it's very strange. But my mother always thought that her great aunt's father was white. And I'm like, why do you think that? It's like, because, well, she was lighter than my mother. And I'm like, well, when was she born? She's like, she was born in 1929. I'm like, okay. And when was grandma born? She's like 31. I'm like, so you think that you have two different fathers? Like, that's very close together. Like, you got to also take into account the pregnancy stage. They're pregnant for 9 months. So she was born in November of 29. My grandmother was born in August of 31. So, like, you do the math. Yeah, like, do the math. It was like a 7-month period between when she had her and then when she got pregnant again. And I was like, so if you think that your aunt's father was white, why the fuck would why would your mom's father not be?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
If that's the case, and then first of all, she was like, wait a minute, oh shit. She had to like rethink everything she thought she ever knew. Because you're like, yo, maybe my grandfather was a white guy. And then I thought, I'm like, well, probably. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that would be my great grandfather.
Yo, you are a direct descendant of a white man.
So I was sitting there, I'm like, and then the other thing is, she did her 23andMe a year ago. She came back 22% European.
Yeah, dog.
So
that's
like,
a grandparent.
And that's the other thing. I'm like, you just did your shit like last year. You think maybe? And then I'm like, fuck, I might be like 15% white.
Yo, you're a white guy. Yo.
You're right.
So
I mean, it's kind of
so it's
fucked
very
up.
possible that my great grandfather was a white man.
That's wild. I can't believe that we're gonna have
black
to.
Chick.
I can't believe we're gonna have to do
Fuck
future episodes of just the two of us because Terrence breaks the rule. There are no white people allowed on the episode.
I find it amazing that Terrence has 2 shirts, one with "fuck Nintendo" on it, and the one that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, how about that?
I don't have that shirt.
That's you on the front, nigga.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Yo, like, needless to say, when I put two and two together, like, I was like Ace Ventura in the shower and shit, like, scrubbing the white. Now that she tripped me the fuck out, I'm like,
That's fucking.
Oh, you weren't on a Watermelon Man episode, were you?
No, you weren't.
No,
man.
That's a real shame.
Yeah, that's a real shame because that's your story.
Yeah.
The white guy woke up black. Like, what the fuck?
So, will you be asking anybody what IPAs they have on tap?
I already do that.
Of course.
I
you
press
do.
my white side.
Yeah, that's your white side.
God damn it. This a bitch.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah.
Oh, we gonna lean into that
I
one.
hate myself.
I hate my-
No, it was very strange when we kind of just did the. I'm like, yo, I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're two different daddies. I think I got a fucking great grandfather that was white. Because again, like I have to show you a picture of my great grandmother. Yo, she ain't no fucking way two black people made my grandmother. No.
Oh, my grandmother on my father's side, she's just like an old angry white woman. Like she just dead. She's light as fuck. My uncle looks like fucking Larry Bird. He does.
It's very strange, but anyway.
I told you my friends met him. They were like, "Yo, who's this white guy coming to your house?" I was like, "Nigga, that's my uncle. It's my dad's brother. At least he's not adopted." Like, oh, they adopted a little white boy? Like, nah.
It's like, wow, that's amazing. They let him do that shit. But okay. Yeah, so
I mean, look, you never know.
I don't know, but probably. I probably had my great grandfather was probably white.
I mean, I have to assume my because I don't really fuck with my dad's side of the family. I don't know about them niggas like that. No, I'm good. I've been more than explicit about that on this podcast. But yeah, I would assume one of my great grandparents is white. Absolutely. I don't give a fuck. Fuck with them like that. You know, drop off the earth for some. Who cares?
Yeah.
And not because they're white, just because they're shitty people. Yeah, that's thank you for that. That was that story alone was better than this documentary that Micah loved.
Yes,
Micah's favorite documentary of 2018.
It was a real eye opener for me, if you will.
I bet it was.
Oh fuck! She was like, she had blonde hair. They dyed it with coffee to make it black. That shit, that is from a white dude, yo. Black people don't have blonde hair.
Very well, if they're mixed, maybe, but yeah, nah.
Yeah, they're mixed. Yeah. Which
surprise. Yeah.
It's a trip,
yeah, it looks like there's a little cream poured in that coffee of your family tree. I'm just like,
yeah, it's fucking.
That shit is hilarious.
You would think like. It's kind of fucked up that you're finding out now because, like, back in high school, you could probably apply to, like, you know, like, Irish scholarships and shit.
I wonder what that motherfucker looked like.
Oh, you got it. You got to find out. You got to do. You got to do.
He had to be super bold, also. Because
what if you found out your personality is exactly the same? What if he was like, "I'll fuck with white people either"?
He might not, because black is my motherfucking great grandma. Again, I'm not saying that to be fucking. Not to be ignorant or anything. Like she was really dark. like this dark. Like, what the fuck?
The opposite of the Snow Patrol, Terrence. I get it.
Like black is your, like,
this shirt
my
is
pants.
Yeah.
This was wild. So I'm like, how the hell did you have such a light-skinned baby?
Yeah.
Unless that nigga was like fucking Michael Ealy or some shit.
Nah,
even
I don't
then.
think so. Nah, even then.
I don't think so. That nigga was white.
That nigga was white.
It just was. Man.
So I think that is a perfect segue into this fantastic documentary. So, Micah, please take us through.
Now that we've gotten the entertaining part out of the way.
Yeah, let's get into the boring next hour.
So
save us, Micah.
So they talk with the kids.
You can't even get started.
And the kid, well, you know, they talk to these kids, and you know, they I don't know. I thought the conversations with the kids were interesting.
Which part? I mean, which part do you? I mean, look, I think there are some. I'm not to completely shit on. I think there are some interesting parts to have.
They speak with a member of Fifth Element. I think her name is like Chastity LaRue or some shit like that. And she's going about talking about how she and her people would make fun of her. She's a singer, and people would make fun of her and her group because they would do quote unquote white music.
Right.
And
Florence LaRue. And it's like, well, you don't represent us, and why do you sing things like that? And why do you I don't know. I mean, I've experienced that before. Sure.
But I never realized that, like, I just let that shit roll off my back. You know what I mean? When people say, oh, well, you ain't black enough, and why do you like this, and why do you like that? Like, I don't know why people get bothered by it so much, right?
Well, do you think that, are you not bothered by it ever, or are you not bothered by it now? Because I think there is an armor that we, as black people, I mean, they even make this point in the movie.
They even say it in the movie.
Which I think is actually a very good point, is that black people leaving the house, you fucking throw your shields up because, like, that is just something we have learned to do over time. And the only time you generally don't throw it up is when you're around other black people. So then when you have black people call you out about shit in a way that's offensive to you, this being one of those, it hurts the most because you were like, you caught me completely defenseless, right? Yeah. So do you find that it has never bothered you, or do you find that it just doesn't bother you now in your late 30s?
I mean, I'm thinking back. I don't remember it bothering me back then. I mean, don't call me an Uncle Tom. Like, that would bother me. Like,
no, we gotta fight.
Yeah, like that is more offensive to me than being called a nigger. Yeah, you know, people would throw around nigger as like the word that will trigger black people into turning them into fucking, you know, serial killers and shit. Like, nah, man. Like, Uncle Tom, that's the one that does it for me.
That's interesting.
And it's like, and then somebody even makes a comment about how being a race traitor isn't necessarily a thing. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like
that's definitely a thing.
Right. Somebody in here is trying to justify their light-skinnedness.
See, these are the little things, like, these are like the little needles in the movie where I'm like, well, that's just not a thing. Yes, it is. Like, there are people who absolutely will go against their own race for their own profit and popularity. Look at any black person on Fox News.
Yep.
Yeah, like they do that. They do that shit now. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that the whole, like, you're not black because you do X, Y, and Z, it does bother me. Like, it still bothers me because my normal response to that would be to punch a person in the face. And as an adult, I can't. Right? Like, because it pisses me off because I don't like things that are wildly illogical. Like, that is like a real trigger for me, is when people say things that are just so out of bounds with, like, reason. Because they don't think, right, they don't think systemically about something like that. So they'll say, oh, well, you're not black because you do X, Y, and Z. And look, a lot of white people who have black friends do this because they think that it's a funny thing to say, right? It's I'm blacker than you because I like X music, or I do this X thing.
Their interpretation of being black is all the shit that they see on television.
Right, or ghetto behavior, quote unquote ghetto behavior.
I'm from the hood, and that makes you black. No, it doesn't.
No,
it really doesn't.
Look, I don't like Clarence Thomas. I think he's an asshole. I think that guy has some serious fucking problems, and I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. But Clarence Thomas is still black. He is. Whether he acknowledges it or not, he's still black.
Is The Rock black?
I don't know.
That question, you'd have to ask him. Because, I mean, this nigga don't seem like he want to let people know he is.
He's black when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Is he black, though?
But he is black, yes.
All right. That's all I want to hear.
That nigga still gets on my nerves.
Half black?
Yeah. Well,
is Barack Obama half black?
Yeah.
You ain't claiming him?
He's black.
He's
Well,
about
he's
as black
black.
as Terrence is at this point. I mean, come on. That was easy. I was surprised you didn't get to it first.
That was his mama. This is my great grandfather, nigga.
Yeah,
That's
go
like
ahead.
twice removed. Like 25%. Shut up.
Do you agree with? Do you agree with?
Like 15%.
He tried to look. Let's turn that number down.
Do you agree with Hotep Chef that mixed people tend to go with their white side?
That was the part. That was the part that I literally was like, and we're done.
I was like, nigga, what?
Like, are you?
And he was specifically talking about Barack Obama. He said,
yeah, go ahead.
He said,
Thank you.
A lot of people think that Barack Obama was the first black president.
Barack Obama and Nelson Mandela. Remember,
Right.
he threw Nelson
He
Mandela.
threw
I'm
Nelson
like,
Mandela on
Nelson
this
Mandela. Please continue.
that
Hotep
nigga
Chef.
is from Africa. Nigga.
Your ass is from Detroit. Nigga. Get the fuck out of here. This nigga fought for black liberation for a whole country, and you talking shit on him. Man, if you don't get your Hotep ass out of my face, I'll fight
said-
that old nigga in the street. Yo, get out of here.
And then he said they tend to, they tend to go with their white side. They don't identify with their black side. And I was just like, nigga, what the fuck is your problem?
No, I was just about to fall asleep again the second time watching it, and that shit, I was like, wait, what? Like, it was like a shot of coffee. I was like, all right, let's go. This is trash. Like the old thing. Come on. But like, yeah, he said that shit.
He said that shit. I couldn't believe it, man. Like, we have fun at the expense of light-skinned people all the time on this show. But
Yes.
goddamn, y'all are black most of the time. Like during the summer months, I mean, y'all are real black.
Yeah.
Can't have from that shit.
But
Stop carrying around a goddamn umbrella. What's your problem? No, but like, so that idea of, at its core, black checking, which I think that's where the movie really missed the mark, because there's so, like I said, there's so much more to black checking than colorism. But that idea of black checking someone based on what they do, based on the things that they like, to me is one of the most fundamentally stupid things that black people do to other black people. Like, it really is. And I see it not just haphazardly, like in conversation. I see it in the comments to this show where people go, well, you didn't like that movie. Y'all niggas ain't really black. So liking a specific movie that's your blackness is determined by a shitty movie called Belly in like 1996. That's it. Wow, that your blackness is that fucking tenuous, right? Like listening to certain music and watching certain things or doing certain things. Oh, you be out there reading, you ain't black. Like, nigga, what? Black people read, but then we'll big up people that they think are these amazing black people who do the same thing that you just criticize other black people in your regular life. Like, this shit doesn't make sense to me. Nah, black people who mix, they ain't really black. Oh, Barack Obama, the first black president, Well, both of those things can't be true inside your own dumb mind. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that fundamental idea of checking people based on their color or based on their activities and what they do, it has never made sense to me. And it still bothers me. But going back to that earlier point I was making, if you are a white person and you have black friends, you probably do if you listen to the show, I would imagine. It would be kind of weird if you didn't. Or at least you're trying, like, oh, what can I talk to my future black friends about? I'm going to write these notes down. Here is I think I can speak for all three of us and say this, that I'm blacker than you or you're not really black shit is never okay.
yeah,
Every black person you've ever said it to or potentially will ever say it to hates your fucking guts the moment you say that. I guarantee you.
Don't act like Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Because if you act like Michael, I'm gonna start using that shit as a slur for white people. Michael Rappaport.
Rappaporting, if you will.
Right.
It's like Columbusing.
And you better be offended if you act like Michael Rappaport, because I'm gonna be offended. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Now, let me ask you a question. They had a meeting of the LSSA, the Light Skinned Society of America, and one woman says to the other women, we should take a page out of the Jewish people's handbook.
No, boy.
And
Drive incredibly slow.
and walk around
What?
all over the place on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't trying to walk, dog.
And like,
The way my diabetes is, that flaring up. Get out of here.
Have them little curly Q sideburns.
Pay us, you fucking racist. I mean, I feel like a couple homeboys could probably rock that.
yeah, sure.
I've seen a couple movies with black Jews, and they just have them little, them little
pay us.
curly Qs, little
us.
spiral sideburn. But she says,
Still with a fresh shape up though.
she says, there's no shame in the fact of the things that happen to them. They embrace it, they celebrate it, and they move forward. Do you think?
Celebrate it?
I think she says celebrate, didn't they?
Have you ever been to Passover? I have. I don't know. Celebrate is the word I would use.
We wear this proud, and we will remember it every year. They celebrate it. Yeah, they say that. Now, do you think that we could take? And then there's another section where Hotep Chef is like, look at the Chinese. The Chinese don't give a fuck about nobody if you ain't Chinese. And look at all these Chinese people coming up in my neighborhoods, and
This nigga,
this nigga got on my goddamn nerves. He was like,
every time he talked, I was like, I'm gonna punch Mike in the face when I see his ass tomorrow.
but do you think that we need to be more insulated? Like, do you think that we need to take care of our own more often? Do we need to buy our own stuff? Do we need to? He says that.
You want to Wakanda-ize?
Yeah, he says that. Somebody makes a point that I think it's Hotep Chef that it's like, oh well, everybody says you got to assimilate to the dominant culture. Well, no, fuck that. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. I hate to agree with Hotep Chef. So here's the thing. I now live in specifically where I live, like my block, it's probably like 60-70% black, right? But across the street is Israel, right? Like it just is. It's a very large Jewish and Orthodox Jewish area. So one of the things that you and I had talked about this, I think, recently. It is wild to watch a community, and I do begrudgingly respect the idea. I shouldn't say begrudgingly. I respect the idea that Jewish folks in this country, with all the shit that they've been through, and it's not a one for one with us. I'm not playing oppression Olympics, but let's not pretend that like anti-Semitism is not a serious fucking problem. Someone tried to eradicate an entire religious group, right? And they were pretty fucking successful in the modern era. So they were able to come, especially to the U.S., have their community, and it's an insular community, and, raise themselves up within that community and take care of their own people. And they really don't give a fuck if you like it or not. Like, they're not like, well, we're gonna, like, especially like Orthodox Jews, they're not like, oh, well, we'll just wear the clothes that everyone else wears. They're like, no, we rocking the fucking babushkas and shit from like 1492. They don't give a fuck. Yeah. They're not changing. Like, fuck you. We're just not changing. And so I can respect that from that perspective. The difference is, and why Hotep Chef is incorrect, like as a one-to-one, is because they can move between being white and not white. We can't. Visually, they can.
What about the Chinese?
They don't give a fuck about us, and I don't give a fuck about them. No, I'm kidding. The Chinese thing seems like a really weird proto-racist kind of comment, right? Because when he says Chinese, he just means East Asian. He don't know.
Right. Right. Taking the racism out of it, like the idea before all the racist leaves bloomed off of that seed, the idea is that here are immigrants coming in, being insulated within themselves.
They had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, we never did.
Off of it.
We never did, right? Like, even you can see it in the Latino communities, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you live in a Latino community.
Right. But because they came here on their own, but they came here on their own volition. That is a major difference between us and literally every other group. Yeah. Like, you cannot, I know people, because slavery, right? But because slavery, dude.
That's what they say in the documentary.
Like, come
there's
on,
a
man.
whole section which I thought was, you know what, that's fine.
Yeah, like again, there are parts in this movie that are absolutely correct. Like, you cannot pretend that slavery doesn't play a massive role in how black people are treated. Jews are able to, move back and forth between whiteness and not whiteness. White people will bring Jews in when it's convenient to boost up their numbers and push them out when it's like, I don't like gefilte fish, right? Like, they are other. Like, and they do that to Jews all the time. Like, if you notice, like, Republicans will be like, hey, Jews. And then when it's like voting time, they're like, get the fuck out of here. They don't talk to them because they are different. Their culture is different, right? It is noticeably different.
Yeah, their culture is different, but, like,
Right.
they don't see them as, like, the enemy. Like, they don't see them as, like, evil or...
Right.
And that's...
It depends.
I mean,
It depends.
I mean,
It depends.
as far as...
Not in the same way they see,
Like, they see
Latinos
us
and black
as,
folks.
like, physical threats.
Yes, that is not a
Constantly.
thing. Yeah, they see
don't
them
see
as
physical
financial
threats.
threats.
They're like, fuck off.
Take all the
Y'all
money.
already own everything.
Yeah, which is really weird, not true. But like, I was having a conversation with my neighbor who is Jewish, right? And he's our age, and he was like, "Yeah, it's really weird because like he was like, look, like."
Sorry.
Lovely. He was like, look, it's really fucking strange because his wife's family, like her mother converted to Judaism. So like the rest of the family is just straight up white folks, right? But like her mom married a Jewish guy and then like, so on and so forth. But he was like, it's really weird when he goes around her extended family. Cause he was like, there is a big difference between, hey, like, I'm, a Jewish guy, like, 9 out of 10 days. But it was like, or some people just see me as white when I'm not around Jewish folks, right? But he was like, when I go around them, I know how much I am not seen as one of them. And I was like, yeah, that's my life all the time. But he can move in between those worlds. But he knows, like, when he's there, just like, white bread, white folks from like, oh, my family's from England. Like, he's like, nah, I ain't y'all. Like, he knows that. And he says, it's a fucking weird feeling. But yeah, so it's insular to a point, right?
Yeah.
It's just insular to a point. So yeah, Hotep Chef is a fucking idiot because slavery. Like, that's just the answer. Because slavery, we are not a one-to-one with them. We're just not. It'd be sweet if we could. Like, it'd be sweet if we could have an insular community. But white people in America will never let us have that. What y'all niggas doing over there? Y'all too quiet. I mean, seriously.
At one point in the documentary, we see a young girl and she's singing. There's too much singing in this movie.
I don't like singing.
She is singing, and then they cut to her, talking about, what is blackness and all that, and she tells a story about her grandmother and how her grandmother chastised her, saying something to the effect of, why you trying to sound like them white folks? You need
So fucked up,
you need
man.
a vocal coach. Why don't you, sing something a little more soulful?
Yeah.
Is it the responsibility of our elders to not impart that feeling, that sense of black checking on us, right? I mean, old black people have been through some shit, some real shit.
Yeah.
Like, not to discount, whatever racism that happens now, but you ain't getting fire hoses turned.
No,
on.
it's not even close. It's not.
Right.
It's not close.
So, is it their responsibility to not impose that on us, or is it our responsibility to remain deferential to them and just try to A, do our thing, or B, maybe take their quote unquote advice to heart and maybe try to get a little more in touch with what stereotypically black people do in, like, whatever it is that we do. Like, say, for instance, singing. If we are going to sing, do we owe it to ourselves and to black people as a whole to come out with something that is a little more palatable stereotypically for black ears? Or do we just say, fuck it, we'll be the next living color and you come to us? Do we do our own thing?
In relation to that exact question, And I preface this because it's very easy to be taking what I'm going to say be taken out of context. In as far as your exact question about do you have to, be deferential to that sort of viewpoint if you're making art, let's say, right? Like as a musician or something, you have to do the thing that Black people have done. You do not owe past Black folks in that regard anything as far as you are required to do that. You are you. Do you pay? You can be respectful of that, but you don't have to sing soul just because you can sing. Why? Like black people are not required to only sing like Aretha Franklin. They can be in a rock band. They can be in a jazz band. They could do rap gospel if that's a weird thing you'd want to do. If that's what you want to do what you want to do. Sometimes I think young people are plagued by, and look, we are plagued by the advice of our parents that is wrong. Some things are wrong that they say. Right? They don't know no better because the shit that they went through doesn't apply today. It just doesn't, right? And that doesn't mean they're not right about their situation. It doesn't mean that they're not valid in their viewpoint from their perspective. But it does mean that in the modern time, like not everything is a one-to-one. That would imply that nothing ever changes. And that's simply not true. Yeah. That's simply not true. There are Black people doing, like, if we lived by that viewpoint, there would be no Serena Williams, right? There would be no Serena Williams. Shit, there would have never been an Arthur Ashe if he was going by people before him. There never would have been. There would never be Black fucking Olympic swimmers or like none of those things would have happened if you only listened to people in the past. Oh, don't do that. That ain't Black. The fuck? Every year, every 2-3 years, we hear first Black person to do X, first Black person to win this, blah, blah, blah. That's because those Black people were not listening to other Black people tell them that you cannot do this. And they weren't listening to white people who told them that they can't do this. If you want to do it, fucking do it. If it doesn't hurt anybody and you want to do it, go do it. But I think you should also listen to people. You can go, okay, yeah, I get that. Oh, I'm a black swimmer. I want to be a Black professional swimmer. Okay, cool. Well, back in your grandmother's
better
day,
grow some gills, nigga.
Right, like Black people sink because their skin heavier. Like, nigga, what the hell are you talking about? Right, like, but if your grandfather or your grandmother, like, well, I don't swim because they threw acid in the pools when Black people tried to integrate pools. Well, they're right. That's true, but that's not true now. So you can't only live in the past, and you can't only live in the present day. You have to be smart enough to take some level of understanding from both. But you don't owe people anything.
Terrence,
what was the question?
Do you feel like you owe it to your culture to maybe try something that is a little more palatable to them, to the culture, than it is to you personally?
No. Like, what do you mean?
Like, let's say you like rock music.
Mm-hmm.
And
or like young teenage white movies from the 90s.
Yeah, let's say you like white teenage movies from the 90s, right?
Yeah, that'd be some sellout shit. That'd be like your great grandfather's wife, some shit.
If you were hosting a film festival, right?
Right.
And you wanted to show those movies, would you feel obligated to show Black movies, or would you feel or would you want to show the movies that you would like to see so that maybe you can expose that to other people? Which would you pick?
I'd probably pick the movie that I want to see to try to expose people, because every nigga done seen Belly. I'm not gonna play that shit.
No, but I mean, like, Coming to America.
Or like Coming to America. Like, that would be a movie I would probably play because I love that movie.
Yeah, but
is this a themed
let's pretend
event?
Let's pretend that in this world, your Black side loves Coming to America and your white side really loves Can't Hardly Wait. What side is going to win?
Let's pretend.
What side is going to win? Your Black side.
Probably,
yeah. So, do you think that's like something subconscious in you, or do you feel like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, fuck appeasing these niggas. I'm gonna play what I want to play.
Like I did not feel like I'm gonna be appeasing white folks playing Can't Hardly Wait. So I'd go with fucking.
He's such an ass. God damn it!
Just to like I don't know, man. I don't think I'm not obligated to appease you for anything. Honestly, like if you either like it or you don't. Like if I were to have such a film festival, it would just be a mixture of a whole bunch of shit. Like if you like it, you like it. If you don't, tough shit, nigga. Like I don't.
You think all black people are wrong for black checking the youth?
Yes, they are absolutely. Because I'm like again, like you said, it's different times. Like these little niggas are vastly different. Like than us. What the fuck? Like
right, even
100% different than fucking like our grandparents. Our grandparents look at these motherfuckers like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm looking at them like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Stop tattooing stars on your face.
Like that shit, like, and I'm sure once we get to that age, whatever the hell whatever your child is going to be doing, I'm like,
look, what? I don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
Exactly.
No, I turn on something on the radio. I'm like,
yeah, we can get. There is wisdom that can be given because we've been on Earth longer.
Yeah, but
at the same time, like things are far different than when you were a kid. So you can't really, everything you say isn't going to be right. And I don't have to follow everything you say. That's why they say respect your elders to a point. Respect your elders
you can respect them. I don't think you have to follow what they say.
Yeah, you respect your elders. Like I always say, like when they used to say that to me, like you respect your elders. I'm like, that's fine to a point. Because some of y'all motherfuckers don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like you just don't.
You're just 100% wrong on something.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen. That's stupid.
No, when you want to meet a girl, you just go up to her and be like, "Little bitch." Like, nah, grandpa, that shit don't work.
No, you get your fucking balls cut off. Don't do that. But yeah,
just hold it down and kiss her. Like, nah, not in the Me Too era, grandpa. What the fuck are you talking about?
What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
That's how I got your grandmother. Like nah,
well, that's fine. And also, you probably also cheated on her a lot, and she stayed with you anyway. That happens a lot. Well, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
Offenses. Yeah. Like that was a thing.
Now Rose, take care of this baby woman now.
He cheated on Rose with a light skinned woman too, because that little girl was about as light as the wood on this table.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, so just take the things that make sense from your elders.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just talk a lot of shit. Just do.
And look, we will.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
it's just inevitable.
You do that shit now.
Well, I'm right. We have hours upon hours of shitty advice to bestow on your child. That's gonna be awesome. You don't have to say anything. You just like sit down and just start the playlist and just play episode.
Listen to what your father said on this episode.
Yeah,
this nigga was wild.
What does he mean? Don't bring a white woman home. What? What's his beef with them?
Well, you'll find out.
Why did he say he would take it as a personal affront if he brought a white woman?
A personal affront.
Oh my god!
Strange. Jumping ahead a little bit, Petey Pablo. We're talking with Petey Pablo.
I can't believe when this name came up in the credits, I was like, no.
I was like, who is that? No, Petey Pablo came up. I'm like, Petey Pablo?
Yeah,
where's he been?
That nigga in a long time.
I mean, that nigga's out of t-shirts.
Petey Pablo, adorned in his silverback life hat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nigga,
I was like,
all right, well, you're a little too black right now. Yeah.
The Rock approves of that hat.
He tells a story about how he
Freak a Leak. It's one of his songs.
Oh, I forgot.
He tells a story about this restaurant that he went to as a kid, where his grandfather worked, and he would play with the grandsons. The grandson of the owner, who was white, he would play, and he would talk about how they kind of grew up, together, and they really liked this restaurant, and Petey Pablo would come in and help his grandfather work there. Then they said as the years got on, well, this restaurant, when they were younger, the white people would come in the front, sit down to eat, and the black people would go in the back and get takeout. right?
Or his friend? You said
this restaurant that he goes to.
Yeah.
the Petey Pablo goes to?
Yeah.
While he was going to this, or back in the day?
Back in the day when he was younger. Like, that's how the restaurant
Yo, that nigga was born in like 73. That's the crazy shit
Where's
about these
Petey?
stories.
Where's Petey Pablo?
I think he's from like either North or South Carolina.
Yeah, he's from North Carolina or something like that.
Yo, that was 40 years ago.
And he said,
Yo, niggas were fucking white women, like, in America.
Yeah,
like,
that was a thing that they could do legally.
right, exactly. Like, and they were like, go to the back of the restaurant.
Like, wait, what?
Is this 1875?
Fuck
Like, come
off.
on, yeah.
and he said that as he grew up, you know, he would go back there and he met the son, the grandson, and he was like, oh yeah, man, you know, you can come back anytime you want, you know, it's on me. And he said that this restaurant still had that mentality. The restaurant didn't impose this, but white people still went through the front, black people still got takeout from the back, even though, you know, the restaurant didn't have that type of policy or whatever anymore. And so Petey Pablo took the kid up on his offer, and he went into the front and sat down, and he was the only black person to sit down. He was the only black person in that front part of the restaurant. He said he felt uncomfortable.
Rightfully so.
There are, you know, myriad of examples of black people feeling uncomfortable around a bunch of white people.
Yep.
But I found the point of the story to be that even though times have changed, the societal mindset has not changed.
Agreed.
In that black people still go to the back of the restaurant.
In the back of the bus is what the other part.
Right, to the back of the bus. I never understood that shit.
I used to sit in the back of the bus.
Yeah, because it's a cool place to sit.
Yeah.
Because no matter how fucked up it is, we dictate, in a weird way, we dictate what's cool in this country. Always have.
Yeah.
Even through shit like that. We always have.
But like, I
So
don't
you was
know.
the weird nigga sitting up front?
Yeah, I was, because what the
Like,
fuck?
look
yo?
at this nerd.
Like, what the fuck?
So
Like,
you can get off the bus first?
then haven't they won in a way?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
With
thing.
your
man.
ass
That's the
still
fucked
sitting
up
in the
thing, right.
back?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I
See?
never
Another
fucked that
salient
shit out,
point by one Petey Pablo.
I never understood that shit, man. So my point here is,
I should have grabbed the white t-shirt from the Go Petey!
my point
Nigga
is,
making bars, nigga. Bars.
How do we change the societal mindset to because that's all that is. That's just
Yeah, it's just ingrained in us.
ingrained in you, right?
Yeah.
How do we change that?
Just do it.
You
Like
have
Nike.
to sit your dorky son in the front and tell him that that's the place he should be. And then he
Or
has
just-
to tell his dorky son in the next generation. That's how it changes over time. Seriously. I mean, like, not kidding. You have to do that. Because if nothing is said, because people generally fall in line so they don't feel weird, he will sit in the back. He will. And there is pressure.
Do they still do that? I don't know. I ain't been
Definitely.
to school in 20 fucking years.
Absolutely, people still sit in the back of the
Yeah.
bus or whatever. Like, fuck that, man.
No, when the only time I ride on the bus, this
My
is
feet hurt, yo. I'm gonna sit in a fucking handicap spot.
the only time I ever ride the bus, because like Baltimore is not really a walking city, right? And the
Yeah,
public
it really
transportation here is fucking hot garbage. But the only time I ride on a bus is at the airport, and I sit in the front. It's just easier to carry my bags all the way to the fucking back.
Yeah.
So
Now, if I'm sitting on the bus somewhere, yeah, I'm sitting in the front because I can get off quicker.
yeah,
they have doors in the front and the back, but like,
but also like I don't know. There's something about the back that's like.
I make it a point to sit in the front. Like,
Yeah, I
I
don't
make it
sit
a
in the
point
back
to
of a
not sit in the
public
back.
bus.
Is it because of the racial thing or because you're scared?
I almost got in a fight on
See
the back of the bus.
that's the thing. It's like the back of the bus niggas be wild.
Yeah, they really be wild. I was having a real fucking bad day one day. I told this nigga I was gonna put his head to the windshield, to the window.
God damn.
No, he was pissing me off, and I meant that shit too.
I'm
I
sure
was really
that,
fucking
that
angry.
I do not doubt.
Like, no, because I don't really say anything, but I was really fucking mad that day, and I was like, I'm about to fight this nigga on the bus because he's just being ignorant. Granted, they were always thinking that he was being extra.
Yeah,
and I wasn't having a good day.
Nah, as a
And
soon to be old
myself.
man, I don't look. Do you want me to fight a teenager in the back of the bus like some
And I
crazy
was by
person?
myself, so them niggas probably thought I was crazy.
Yeah, they probably did.
Tell somebody they're gonna put his head through the fucking window if he even shut the fuck up.
Like, nah, don't fuck with him.
They're
Yeah.
like, yo, that nigga's wilding. You can catch him off the bus, whip his ass. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that chance.
Come on off.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, Petey Pablo's point. I'm trying, he did have some really salient points. He
Like,
did.
he was a whole thing.
Yeah, he did.
He was like the most reasonable person besides
Yeah,
like
he made
Henry Louis Gates.
Gates.
It's Henry Louis Gates and fucking Petey Pablo right there.
He made a
for
point
you, man.
about
That's awesome.
Funny.
he made a point about how people always say, "Oh, well, 400 years ago when slavery," like he was like, "Y'all motherfuckers don't know what happened 400 years ago." He said it's like he compared it to a game of telephone, and
Yep.
that things
Yeah.
are added and taken away, and nobody really knows.
That's right.
Like the 10th
You know.
person in that story is telling something completely fucking different,
Right.
than the actual story.
Nigga,
itself.
they had superpowers back then. Like, that
I
wasn't
don't
true.
think that's true. Okay.
Chinese people were slave owners. Like, that was not a thing.
This is does assimilating in the dominant culture work? I would argue that. Well,
It feels that's not a yes or no answer.
It's almost
Right.
that's a necessity.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
have to
feel like-
assimilate to some point to survive.
Yeah.
We just do. Even the example about Jewish folks, like, it's not like they don't. It's not like they're completely off the grid,
Living under a fucking dome.
right?
Like, yeah, they have their own communities. Like Chinatown is a thing in fucking every
major city.
state in the fucking country. But
does Baltimore have a Chinatown? They got a little
yeah,
Italy.
Little Italy, yeah. I'm sure it's a Chinatown.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I mean, there's-
those motherfuckers need representation.
Oh yeah, no Italians. No. But at one point they were ostracized. They were not white. But that's the power of whiteness. They just, oh yeah, you cool. We'll bring you in just to boost the numbers. Do it every time. They try to do it to Latino folks right now.
I mean, some of them are falling for it.
Yeah, no, don't do that because they will scoop you up and use you and toss you aside when they're done.
Put your children in prison.
Yep.
Because that's the thing they're doing.
Surprise, surprise.
The documentary goes on to say that this is not just a problem with the black community. I felt like
I didn't like this.
A real documentary would have kind of like, don't bring this up if you're not going to go into it. And they didn't really go into it, you know. But they had an Indian woman, like they had this running gag, I guess, about crabs in a barrel, and they were saying,
what the fuck was that?
So,
Like
it was
the,
just
the
the-
white dude or whatever the fuck he was.
He
looked
was
like
Brazilian. I think the whole idea was that analogy exists in
Right.
all cultures.
And- right.
But does it? Because I couldn't tell if they were telling an honest story.
right.
or-
That Filipino woman was like, there were two fishermen and with crabs and
Barrels. Am I saying
barrels. Right. Like she looked like she was reading on Saturday Night Live, yo. Like the
Yeah.
cue cards were all the way over there and the camera was dead center in front of her face, but she just couldn't.
Yeah, so I didn't know how to buy that as, like, are those stories that get told in other societies of color, or was that just completely made up? I honestly do not know. It could be. It could be. I mean, look, that idea, the sort of the crab in the barrel mentality, I would argue that it's not that it would exist in only people of color societies. I would argue that it exists in societies. Period. Because people
Yeah, it's
are
human
jealous.
nature, yo.
They're
It's
jealous.
human nature.
So, like, the point to me is not a very good one.
It's not made. I get the point. It's not made well.
Yeah. Here comes Hotep Chef again.
Yeah, and here comes Hotep Chef. So we cut to like this whole middle section is talking about hair.
Nigga, they
And
were so out of their depth.
And I get it. Like hair is a big deal in the black community, right?
Not anymore
Like,
for me, it's not.
and particularly amongst women.
Of course.
And it's been very interesting to see because look, I'll be honest. When I was younger, I found girls with straight hair to be more attractive, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Same.
'cause I ain't know no better. And of course, I married someone who doesn't keep her hair straight most of the time, and who is obsessed with hair, right? Like it's just the way life works, I guess, right? But
Yeah, you grew up.
yeah, like
I mean, good.
and kind of do more with it instead
All
of
right,
just having it,
all right.
just having it, just bam. Like, all right, well,
It's not interesting.
no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Look, I'll tell you right now. My wife is Indian, so this is not a concern for her. Besides the fact of like, it's weird for her to see like, why are black women with beautiful hair cutting their hair off to put Indian people's hair in their head? It just never made sense. But I just personally find it more attractive when black women specifically, have natural hair. I just do. Like, there's a woman in here with the mohawk. I was like all in, all the way in. I was like, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I
don't
know
know.
how I feel.
All right, nigga, calm down.
That just is what it is.
This is Terrence's favorite part. So can you just go back to the beauty salon?
And I only bring up the hair because Hotep Chef comes back and
Throw
he's
this nigga in
like,
front of a train. Go ahead.
he's like, I see people walking around with red locks and yellow locks and blue locks, and to me, that's not authentic. Like,
Why not?
it's not necessarily meant to be authentic. It's a sense of style, nigga. Like,
Also,
the thing-
there are Africans with red hair. They put red dye in their hair.
Right.
They
Yeah.
live in Africa. What the
Right.
fuck are you talking? Again, where's this nigga from? Like, I swear he's from Detroit. And his idea of Africa, he saw one Shaka Zulu fucking documentary and that was it. He just turned the TV off. He was like, I got it.
yo, this outfit, and you talk about style, and you wearing this chef's hat with whatever green dashiki you wearing, like,
This nigga got 14 different kente cloths on.
Yeah, his outfit just displeased me greatly. It's just so terrible looking.
I don't, but a movie about black checking, he black checks.
right,
Constantly.
right.
entire
He
fucking
does,
movie.
man.
I'm like,
the entire movie, he's black checking.
I didn't like the woman getting the box braids, talking about natural hair, not using relaxer, where then she's getting a weave tied into her hair. I that really bothered me.
I mean,
Was she?
Huh?
Was she?
Yeah, like literally behind her, there is a woman grabbing bundles of fake hair to tie into her hair. Look, and this is not a judgment of anyone. I just find it odd that black women will put fake hair onto their heads to make a natural hairstyle. To me, I just don't get it. It seems very weird to me.
it's. I didn't at first. I do now.
Yeah, again, I don't get it. That's not a judgment. I just don't personally get it.
Yeah, I do now. Just because you want to look good, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's all
so
it is.
I've avoided. I want to do good hair because I think it's a really salient conversation, and we'll have Tiara on because she's a person who rocks natural hair. So the thing with talking about natural hair as three guys is we are profoundly ignorant about the larger story there, right? Like just from a personal perspective, right? We might understand it, but it's still surface level, right? It's like having an episode with three women talking about like what it's like to have a dick. Like what you're going to talk about something you don't know what you're talking about, right? But there is like I don't know where the line is between wanting to have a stylish variety of hairstyles versus identifying with white or European beauty standards, right? Like I honestly don't know where people draw that line. And I don't think it's an easy line to draw. And I used to have a really like black and white view of it. But as I've grown older, I realized like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense because yeah, you could just be like, well, I just want to fucking try this hairstyle out. And you should have the right to do that. The only difference is it never works in the reverse, right? So, and if they try, if like white women are like, I'm going to rock an afro, like, nah. Like, no, you're not. Like, you're just not going to do that.
Because it doesn't look natural.
Yeah, but
It doesn't look. It doesn't.
does a black woman
doesn't
with
look like-
super straight hair, does that look natural to you?
It does look natural because I've seen enough black women do that, whereas you don't see white women rocking afro puffs. Like it It's
Or like, what
it
about like
doesn't hit the
Jewish
eye
guy?
well.
No, don't quite. What about white women wearing cornrows? You cool with that?
It doesn't hit the eye well. I don't give a fuck what you do, but it just doesn't look right. Like I've seen female MMA fighters.
Yeah,
and
they
wrap
really,
their hair
ain't trying to
up or
get
whatever.
dragged around a fucking ring.
Right, but it just doesn't hit the eye well. That's all.
Doesn't hit the eye well.
It hits the eye wrong.
Right.
Or like Jewish guys back in the 70s, right? Like they had the Jufros.
Yeah, they have Jufros. For some reason, Jufros I'm all right with.
Well, it's because that's their natural hair.
Right.
Right? They
Like,
were
yeah.
like permanent shit.
Right. But I'm not gonna like Melania Trump with a Jufro like that.
Nigga,
don't
if
look
yo-
right.
Paid you a match. What are you doing with that?
Like it just I
I
don't know.
Michelle
Man.
Obama. I wanted to try to connect. Get back in your fucking hole.
Hotep goes on to say that he feels that women who have straight hair or dye their hair or wear their hair blonde, he feels like it's destructive.
So you agree with him?
Because, well, in the blonde hair part, I do. Because he's like, what are you going to tell your children? I'm like, calm down, yo.
Like it is.
You got to sit little Micah Jr. down and be like, one time, I dyed my hair blonde. Father, what happened? Like, what are you talking about? What are you going to tell your children? Stop shitting in your diaper? Like, nigga, what conversation are we having? Like, this is that level of black checking that is so destructive that black people have to live in a box. That black people have to have afros or dreads or a bald head to be black. No, they don't. They can have straight hair, they can have locks, they can have a natural, they can do whatever.
I think that's the point of this documentary, is to reinforce the fact that you don't have to be what people say you should be. You can just be who you are. Now, you got to sift through some shit. Like you got to wade through the bitterness that is inherent in this documentary.
Yeah, it comes off pretty bitter.
But like Boyce Watkins is here. Boyce Watkins. Henry Louis Gates is here.
Boyce Watkins.
No, that is. I apologize to Henry Louis Gates.
God damn.
I am sorry.
Because Boyce Watkins is hotep as fuck too. I don't care for him.
Yeah,
A financial teacher.
All right, go sit down over there.
Do you? He says in this documentary, there's one line here where he says, he says that he finds that people who do the most damage to other people are the politically correct. Those who
I thought that was weird.
Those who are creating an identity based on an ideology.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
I'm waiting.
Sorry, I was, we're trying to get this thing.
That's hilarious. Like I'm watching, I'm like, why is it taking so long for the close commentary to come
Are
out?
trying to shoehorn everyone into that identity, kind of like members in a cult. And he says that people see blackness as a cult. What do you think of that?
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I found that when he said that, I found that strange. I don't know if you would use politically correct.
I didn't understand what that meant.
That's the wrong thing to use. But to a certain extent, I kind of agree with him because take a look at Twitter. Like when he said it, I liken it to like Twitter. Like if you do one thing wrong, it's a wrap. You have to be perfect.
Done.
You got to be perfect. It's almost like purity politics. And maybe if that's what he meant, but you have to be perfect. And if you're not perfect, then they throw you out. And if that's what he means by political, again, I don't think politically correct is the word that you.
You should probably say like purist.
Yeah, everybody wants to
politically
be so,
pure.
everybody wants to be so perfect nowadays that you can't fuck up. But this is,
and if you're to that point, which that explaining it that way makes a lot more sense to me. Congratulations, you did it better than Boyce Watkins. I'm sorry, Henry Luskins.
God damn. But I didn't. It was just very weird. I'm like, I understand.
That might
what
have been
you're
the most
saying,
offensive
but
thing you've ever said.
I sincerely apologize.
He might have to come. Henry Louis Gates might have to come on the show and kick your ass.
But yeah, when he said that, I'm like,
But yeah, I mean,
correctness doesn't really.
Yeah,
when you take it to a point.
Yeah,
like when you take it to the far left is when the issues come into play. But
yeah, but I think the point about it being like a cult,
yeah,
verifies your view of it, right? I think that's a correct view, because the idea of like the Twitter as especially Black Twitter being the example there, like people are working overtime to be perfect and pure and like make sure like I don't say anything that's out of line. But when you do that, you are really shoehorning everyone into an identity. And Black folks, not all Black folks, not the majority of Black folks, but some Black folks do see Blackness like that. Where if you step out of that box,
you step out of the club, like that's it.
That's it for you. Then immediately you are black checked. It doesn't mean you're no longer black, but the questions of your blackness immediately come up. You are supposed to listen to this music. You are supposed to do the following activities. You are supposed to eat the following things. You are supposed
to think a certain way.
A certain way about all of these specific topics that have somehow been like preloaded with answers. By whom? I don't know. Like, I'm not sure who gets to determine what the answers
by
are.
the collective.
Yes.
Nice.
That is normally run by like 5 or 6 people who push those certain topics. So, in that regard, he's right.
About the fact that you don't listen to R&B and all other shit, but I don't give a fuck. I think it's funny to make fun of you about it. Like, but I don't care.
Right. I mean, ironically, I just don't listen to a lot of the shitty R&B that everyone else listens to. I listen to a lot more lately, which is kind of weird. But getting into my soulful bag.
Give us an example.
Yeah, continue.
Give you an example?
Give me an example that's not Sade.
Well, then I'm out. No.
I got nothing.
No, I'm trying to look over
your Spotify list.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stuff like I picked up a lot of old
like Jhené Aiko, there you go. That's like a Sade analog. Okay.
Yeah, she kind of is actually. This list is not helping my argument. No, I like this chick, Amber Olivier or Olivier or whatever, however you pronounce her name.
Olivier.
Yeah, I like her music. Okay. She's pretty good. Keys and Crates.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, see? Then I got Tears for Fears in here. And Mac Miller. Sean Paul. And Kool and the Gang. Get the fuck out of here.
And the Gat Band.
There's some Gat Band in here. There's also Peter Gabriel. Mobb Deep. Tekashi 6ix9ine. I like that song, Billy.
Yo, that
nigga's crazy. That's the song I listen to when I work out. Too Short. It's my hero.
Like Too Short.
Take a guess what song that is. It's Blow the Whistle, by the way. Of course it is. Yeah, I listen to all sorts of shit.
I never like Too Short.
I don't really fuck with Too Short like that, but I like Blow the Whistle. That's a great song.
Like, he's not a good lyricist.
That's probably true.
At all. Like, it was never
at
good.
all.
I don't understand the appeal, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not from that part of the country.
It's a novelty. It's a midget rapping.
He's not a midget.
He's not a midget.
You fucking asshole.
That's Bushwick Bill.
Yes, it is.
From
Goody Mob?
No, not Goody Mob.
I don't remember any of these.
I was about to say Mobb Deep, but
right.
That nigga's also short, but that's beside the point. What the fuck is somebody gonna? They are screaming at us right now because I cannot remember.
Ghetto Boys?
Fuck, Ghetto Boys. Yeah.
Hey, yes, my blackness is back. Yes, I saved it. Oh, thank God.
I completely forgot. God damn, I feel terrible.
Somebody is in the comments on YouTube like, I told you he wasn't black. He didn't know.
Real niggas, I don't know the Ghetto Boys. Like, wasn't my thing.
I really didn't fuck with
your
white
grandfather coming out.
No, I don't mess with the Ghetto Boys. I prefer Frankie Valli and the other stuff I picked your grandmother up to.
Speaking of music, Hotep Chef comes in and
I hate this nigga.
he's this dumb nigga. He's like, yeah, you know, the Jews who run the record industry. You know, they say, listen, Lil Wayne, we'll pay you a bunch of money just to scream the N-word and the B-word, and that's it.
And any other words you can think of. I was like, yo, this is racist. And then the Jews did it. I was like, yo, what documentary is this?
I'm like, nigga, I'm like, get the fuck out of my goddamn studio.
Told you, dude.
Oh, they were probably in his house. I'm like, you know what?
We'll leave. You know what? You get out. You're an asshole.
Oh shit! And then they cut to Petey Pablo, and it's like, look, yo, if you're an artist, like, there is no color, there's no boundaries, there's no limits. You know what I mean? You can't censor the N-word or whatever. Like, that's
not about that, Petey.
Like, that's bullshit, basically.
Yeah, I don't know, Petey. I'm not ready to open that door.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to listen to Eminem call Machine Gun Kelly a nigga. Like, I'm just not. Nah, get tossed up out of here for that shit. No, but I mean, I think Petey Pablo's ultimate point is correct, which is, like, I never, like, the funny thing is, like the whole idea of music is a wild one. Like, how people view music, like, you got to listen to this or you got to listen to X, Y, and Z because of, like, whatever color you are or where you're from, is strange to me, because the musicians that you are advocating for, they listen to everything because they're musicians.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever listen to conversations with, like, the most hardcore rappers and shit, like, Cribs was, like, one of my favorite shows for proving this point I'm going to make, is they would go, oh, this is, like, so-and-so rapper's house, like, and they'd have, like, their rack of CDs when people had CDs, and it'd be, like, some like, hardcore rapper nigga, and he'd be like, yeah, this is the fucking Skid Row album, or Guns N' Roses, because they're musicians, they just like music. And it's like, nah, I only listen to their music because I'm black. Nigga, they're making the music and they're black and they don't only listen to that music. It never made sense to me. Like, you can't listen to Linkin Park if you're black, but you like Jay-Z, who did an album with Linkin Park. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Right.
I think more black people like Linkin Park than they let on.
Yeah.
Like, I had the first two albums.
I might have had more than that.
I don't remember the other ones.
All of them.
Did you have the Fort Minor album?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
But that's the one they did with Jay-Z, right?
No,
that was Collision Course.
Oh, well, you do have
like, it's like, no, that one came out in 2007. I believe the fall. There were leaves out, and it was a great day. Look, I like that album. I like Collision Course. I dug it. I thought it was cool. I mean, but when Chesterfield or whatever his name was,
Bennington.
Yeah, it was like the whitest of
that nigga's name was white as fuck.
It was. But when that guy died, Bennington. Like, in our fan group, like in the fan groups that we have, like, a lot of people were like, oh man, that really sucks. Like, and they weren't just white people. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, I really grew up listening to that stuff. Yeah. Like, it's okay to admit that you like a Linkin Park album. Doesn't take away your blackness. It's
Linkin Park was the first, like, white group that I started listening to in college.
Yeah.
Like,
that's where you sold out. I get it.
Yeah. I went to Morgan and sold out. Okay. All right. I ain't trying that shit. Black as a motherfucker at that school.
Yeah, 13th grade, I know.
Yep. That's all that was. So they're talking about the word nigga, and Hotep is like, no, I don't really agree with that because it has nothing to do with us. It didn't come from us. It was a name that was bestowed upon us. It has nothing to do with our history, and he doesn't believe in taking it back. They cut to this fake Stevie Wonder looking guy.
I don't like this guy either.
And he's
a fake intellectual, and
he's like, you can't really take something back that you never owned. And
disagree.
And they cut back to Hotep, and Hotep Chef is like, well, I'm waiting for Jews to call themselves kikes and Japanese to call themselves gooks and shit. Like, where's that? I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, he was like, you never see that. And it was like, but you do. Because women call each other bitches. It's the prime example. Like, again, I think Terrence is right. This is made for old black people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah,
Also-
but do you see it? All right, but that's fine. Women call themselves bitches all the time. Gay people call themselves fags all the time.
How dare you?
Do you see Latin people call themselves spics? No, they call themselves niggas.
I know. No, I know they do.
Yeah, they do.
But they don't call unless they're trying to catch a fucking Timberland boot in New York, they don't call all the black people that shit. Not in a derogatory word. No, they do not.
Like, that's how much that word doesn't mean anything anymore.
That's right. And you know why it doesn't mean anything? Because we took it from them. We took it from them.
You took the power away from it.
Yeah. So, like, have you watched a number of videos that keep popping up online of, like, white people talking shit and be like, yeah, fuck you, nigga. Black people are like, oh, really? Okay. They don't even get that mad. They just punch him on the face. They just punch him in the face for sport at this point. They're not really that mad about it. Like, fuck off. Yeah.
Like that old man that choked that old white dude out in the did you see that video?
So that black dude had the fucking kung fu grip. He was like, bow! He grabbed that white dude fat. I was like, yo.
First of all, that nigga has the reaction time of a cheetah.
He was so fast.
His arm was right here, and a split second later, it was on his fucking throat and his beard. He was like, grab it. Did you see it?
Nah, I thought y'all were talking about the white guy that was fucking with the pregnant black woman.
Oh no!
And then
nigga, that video was my favorite.
The cowboy hat
and
came out of nowhere.
The dude with the cowboy hat from A Girl Like Grace came along. and the white guy was like, eh. And then the black guy was just like, bam!
Like, ah! he blew his whole fucking head up.
Did you see that? He hit me like, nigga, you hit me first. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yo, he was wilding. That white man was crazy.
Yo, that black dude's response was some old black man shit. He was like, put that gun away. Put that gun away. He was like, you messing with a pregnant woman. And he's like, you know, the white guy said something. He was clearly crazy or just fucking out of his mind. And the black dude said something, and I was like, "Whoa, white man, you better chill the fuck out." He was like, "Hey, you a motherfucking man, so what the fuck you gonna do?" I was like, "Yo, this black dude's about to wear you out." This is some old black man shit. That shit was dope. That old black man was not having it that day.
He ain't even that old. That's the crazy thing. He was in like his late 40s.
Yeah, probably 50s maybe. But like he pulled that gun out. He was like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do?"
Like, yo, first of all, you black with a gun just chilling?
Yo, you in
bold
Texas
as fuck.
Nobody messed with that black dude.
And you got to pull on a white guy? Yo, you got the balls of a fucking, like, what do you got, the guts of a burglar? Yo, that's crazy, yo. Nah.
I love that video. I love when he punched that dude in the face. That shit was amazing.
Yeah, it was like just a quick wow. It was like, ah. Yo, it was a reaction when he punched him in the face, yo.
It's the same as that video
with the woman on the train.
Yeah, she's like, stop overreacting.
Yo, get the fuck out of here.
Yo,
like,
white people would trip, yo.
Like, this ain't soccer. You can't flop. Get out of here. But I didn't agree with Stevie Not So Wonderful here either. Like that idea of like you can't take it back. Doesn't belong to you. Yeah, we can. Actually, yeah, we can. And by the way, this is one of these arguments that I see between older black folks and young black folks that gets on my fucking nerves. We did not come up with using the word nigga. Your generation did. Why are you pretending like we came up with it? Nigga didn't get invented in 1985. We all used it in the 60s. The prime example is when we did that movie, The Butler, where the guys, the fucking butlers are around. They're talking about LBJ, and they're like, "That nigga says nigga more than we say nigga." Right. They were saying it then. Why are you pretending like our generation created that? Your generation created that. And look, I'm not mad at you for that. You were trying to do something that you found a commonality between your people. That's all people are doing. I think they're more angry because it's used in music. Yeah. And then they make some point later on that they're not even sure, again, this is an age thing, they're not even sure black people listen to rap music because more white people buy it.
Because white people buy it.
I was like, more white people buy it because we broke. Like, but black people listen to rap music. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I guess I guess you're right. I guess that's their point, is that white people buy this music, therefore they will think it's okay to start using such terminology.
But hasn't that been disproven?
First of all, they use their terminology within themselves all the time. Yeah. White people call each other nigga more often than you think.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I don't think it's more often than I think. Like, look, I know the motherfucker.
Well, you are white, so you say that shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Actually, it's starting to get a little offensive to me.
Man, well, fuck you, nigga.
Yeah. As a black person, I don't feel like you should say that word, Terrence.
Too bad. Oh man.
You should be forced to say ninja from now on.
What's up, my ninja? Like that. It didn't.
First of all, that's no better because
you're just trying to be slick,
right? Like you're just.
I want to hit you even harder.
Right, like I know what you want to say. It's just saying it. It's just another word that you're using. You dumb motherfucker. All right, whatever.
Nigga, grow up.
They cut to the kids, and this one kid is talking about his friend Todd, and then his buddy is like, Todd, and then the kid does a Micah.
You gonna dog your boy out?
The kid does a Micah and is like, yeah, Todd Jones, that motherfucker.
That shit was funny. That kid didn't give a fuck.
He was like, there's a puddle of water, and instead of me walking in the water, I walked around it. And he was like, stop being white and just walk inside the water. And he was like, I'm not trying to be white. I just don't want wet feet.
I ain't never heard no dumb shit like that before, even as a kid.
Yeah, these young kids are dumb. Anyway, moving on. I don't know the hell you're talking about.
So they get to Black Seal or American Seal. Seal without the two-face scars all on his
look at
on his
Walrus.
face.
Go ahead, Walrus. I see you out there.
And he the blackest motherfucker in here.
Yeah,
he the blackest person in this documentary.
Literally,
quite literally.
I had to turn the contrast up.
And
I'm kidding.
He's talking about. He's basically doing the same thing. Like he was told that he's not black enough because
like this dude not as dark as my great grandmother.
God,
I'm telling you.
Nah, your great grandfather was out there wilding. Nah, he was.
That's what I'm saying.
He was. You know who your great grandfather was? He was the white dude from Harlem Nights. Hey,
I'm not coming back.
I ain't never coming home no more. That was him. That's not to call your great grandmother a prostitute, by the way. Just for the record.
So he comes on, and if you do watch this, when he comes on, you can fast forward about 4 minutes. Because this nigga is singing a 4-minute song.
Yeah, he played the whole song.
I just
song.
pulled my phone out and started playing games.
Like this was uncalled for. I will give you that. This documentary is just poorly structured, like a whole fucking song, yo. We're getting towards.
And it's not really good.
We're getting towards the end of the documentary,
thank God.
And people are just kind of wrapping things up. It doesn't, the points have been made. At this point, this is just like a bitch session. Like, yeah, I am black enough. Like I am Malcolm X. Like I am black enough. Like that's basically what the rest of this is. And it's like, I'm black enough because I won Miss America back in 1983, and fuck you. And I'm black enough because I was black. I was the first black Price is Right model. And she was like,
"Yo, I remember. I don't remember when she started, but I remember watching Price is Right, and I was like, hey, girl,
right."
I was not even remotely interested in those other women. When I saw her, I remember as a little kid being like, yo, she's kind of fine.
She was like, and during her I am black enough testimonial, she was like, yeah, I'm black enough. She was about to say, I wanted to say something else. She was about to say, I'm a nigger. And she was like, no, I'm very Afrocentric. Like, I love my black people, right? And, yeah, of course you're black enough, lady. Like, you dark as shit.
Yeah, but okay, so here's my thing. What I get that you're saying the title. Like, I get it. But the idea of black people saying the phrase, I am black enough, really bothers me. It's not that you're black enough.
Yeah, it's just that
you're black. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, like, fundamentally, like, I'm watching it and I go, I get it. Stop saying that. Please stop saying that.
I think the problem
Please stop
is.
saying that.
I think the problem is you're hearing inflections wrong. Where I think I think what you are hearing is I'm black enough. I don't need to be more black.
No. I'm hearing it from the perspective of like in a weird self-justification. Like I'm black enough. Like I'm trying to tell you, I am black enough for you guys. I am black enough. Like a reassurance to other black people. You don't have to reassure black people of anything. You are born black, except for Terrence. You are already black.
I gotta stop coming for me, goddamn. I have 2 black parents, I think.
No, but in all seriousness, you are black. You do not have to prove to other black people that you're black. And that's where that like chip on their shoulder still is a refrain at the end of the movie, which really bothered me. It like in a weird way, it shouldn't be I'm black. The movie shouldn't be titled I'm Black Enough. The title should be I Am Black. Yeah. It's not degrees of blackness. There are no degrees of blackness. You either are or you're not. That's it. Barack Obama is black. Period.
Not according to Hotep Chef.
Hotep Chef is not black. We are kicking him out. He's done. No, but even Hotep Chef is black, right? As much as that pains me. But there are no degrees of blackness. Like there just isn't.
Yeah, it's just
Let
shades.
other people, if other races want to deal with that bullshit, oh, well, Barack Obama is 51%, that's fine. You deal with that. From our perspective, Barack Obama is black. He is black because he identifies as black and he is genetically a black person. Like he is. It's weird that we like hate the one drop rule, but we also support the one drop rule at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, Tiger Woods is black. That doesn't take away that Tiger Woods is also part Asian. Capicalasian or whatever bullshit term he made up.
Yeah.
Goodbye, fried chicken. Hello, fried rice. Like, whatever. Like, that's fine. But you're black. You got some black ass tendencies. Like, you do. Hooking up with white porn stars.
Yeah.
Fucking up your own money.
That's about
It
the
sounds
blackest thing you
Yeah,
can
it
do.
sounds pretty goddamn black to me.
So there you
Wearing
go.
a do-rag on a sports magazine? What the fuck is going on?
The next 15 minutes of the film is just singing and credits. So
I just...
you can turn it off there.
Wow, right to the end.
But yeah, I thought this was fine. I wasn't offended by this. It didn't move the needle for me, but I thought it was fine. I enjoyed myself watching it. I enjoyed myself more than I thought I would watching it. So there you go.
Yeah. No, I don't recommend this. And it's not that I don't recommend it because things have, you've already heard of them or what have you. I don't recommend it because I don't think it's well done. And I think it misses a really large conversation that I think it really could have nailed. That being said, the one thing about this documentary that I 100% appreciate, and I will give it all the credit in the world, it inspired me to remember that Bill Duke did 2 documentaries that I actually want to see called Light Girls and Dark Girls. And it was actually about colorism, specifically about those 2 groups. And he gave both of them equal time, which I think is the right thing to do because this movie lacks one thing that is incredibly bothersome to me. It is a dark-skinned person's perspective on an equal playing field. There's fake-ass Seal and Petey Pablo, who isn't really talking about colorism at all. And then it's just a slew of angry light-skinned women. Not even angry, just bitter. And I get it. I get it. But can we talk to some dark-skinned black women who've gone through some shit because they're dark? Right? Or like they get pushed out of the community by like being accepted by black men and everything else because of their skin color. And, they're never seen as not being black. But to a point that they're so black that they're ignored by other black people? No, we don't talk about that. Because you are light-skinned, so fuck everyone who doesn't look like you. No, fuck this documentary. It's shallow. It's a shallow fucking documentary. And I don't like documentaries. If you're talking about black people, just stick on black people. There are more people who are not black than dark-skinned black people in this fucking movie. Think about that. The Filipino woman who can't read, the Brazilian dude, the Indian woman. That's 3. And there are 2 dark-skinned people in here. What the fuck? And Seal is only there to sing. Barely in it.
Yeah, honestly.
And is she married to this Brazilian dude? Because he seems like mad familiar. Like he's like talking to the camera like, yeah, we cool. Like we ain't no big deal.
Nah, they show a picture of her husband.
I know, he's like Chester Bennington. Like he's super white.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super duper white.
By the way, that one woman from The Fifth Element, she looked, or The Five Elements or whatever.
Fifth Dimension.
Whatever her name is.
The Fifth Element.
She looks like LaToya Jackson. I'm sorry.
Oh.
She... All right.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
LaToya Jackson, like 8 years. And she does. She looks like an older LaToya Jackson, but like better. Way better than LaToya Jackson because she's got a real nose. Any final thoughts there, Terrence?
I listened to some of her music and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
LaToya Jackson or the Fifth Element?
The Fifth Dimension woman, and they've done
they had like a pretty popular song.
The Aquarius song. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
That's them.
That's them.
They were black.
Let the sunshine in.
Yo,
I know.
Okay.
It's like, what the fuck?
oh shit.
Yo, are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Wow, I did not know they were black.
I didn't know they were black either.
All right. Oh shit.
To her point, right? Like, why you trying to make that? Why you trying to make that white music?
I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, lady, they were right. No, that's a pretty classic song.
Yeah.
I liked her anecdote, by the way, where she was talking about they went to play at a black college, or a college for like a black organization, and people protested. They're like, the Fifth Dimension, get a black band. They're like, bitch, we not black. That's really funny. Wow. Oh, I do know one less bell to answer though. Yeah, I do know that song. That's crazy. Ticket to Ride? Yo, all right. I did not know they were black. Ticket to Ride sounds more black, if I'm recalling the song correctly. But yo, Age of Aquarius, I did not know they were black.
Come on, yeah.
This is the dawning. Oh, really? Wow. They were super hippies then.
Yeah, they were. I was listening to it in the car because I was like, I ain't never heard this woman's music before. And I went on Apple Music. I'm like, they have an essentials collection, which means they've done enough
right.
and were popular enough to have a whole, just like 10 tracks of popular songs.
And they got a lot of music.
Yeah, they got a whole lot of music.
Wow.
So, there you go.
Okay. Oh, shit. All right, I'm gonna listen to some. I'll listen to Ticket to Ride right after this. All right, Terrence, any parting words?
No,
I don't give a fuck.
I did not appreciate this movie. That's it. Like I just didn't.
You guys ready to do good hair?
I am.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think so. I think now after 6 years,
Right. My wife will be pissed. She wants to do good hair, but she damn sure ain't gonna come on camera being pregnant.
Why not?
Because
she's pregnant.
Because
Yo, women are wild. Y'all wild. Yeah, I said it.
She should wait, like right when she's like Superman, right? And you could just put the microphone like right up there. But then she's gonna have to we have to keep stopping and shit because she's got to go to the bathroom every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Nah, see,
because that's what pregnant women do.
Yep.
So
refuse to take pictures and
we better turn these fucking cameras and microphones off real quick.
Oh, all right. You gotta go. All right. All right, that's it. We will see you guys for preview for episode 139 next week.
See you.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.